Hey, what's going on everybody? Frizzle84 here, and welcome back to another episode on Frizzle's World. Today, Today, we are in the Nether, as you can see, and like I mentioned last time, we are building up a We are building up a Nether Fortress farm. You can see by some of these pathways here and the blaze spawner that's right over there that we are in a Nether Fortress, and this is right at the very corner of one, at one of those intersections between the paths. We had this path coming down this way and another one coming this way that's been completely taken out by building up of what I've already got here of this farm. And that's one of the areas you can get the best sort of spawns for a farm, especially a farm like this. There's a bounding box much larger than the intersection where the Nether Fortress mobs will spawn on basically any kind of block that is spawnable. There's other areas that, you know, say like we built it out on the pathway, or not just the pathway, but like right here, like where the sand is, we could build some stuff there. But the like wither skeletons will only spawn if you use another brick. But if we build it over here, we can use any kind of block. And as you can see down here on the layer that I already built up, we're using blue ice. And that just actually helps the mobs sweep over faster with the flying machines. You can see there that will sweep across and push all the mobs. You honestly see, I put buttons down there because I was sick of everything spawning in this box and making all kinds of noise. And pretty soon I'm gonna have to take out this floor right here and put in ice, and I don't want to deal with everything trying to kill me while I do that. So I buttoned that bottom layer up so nothing really spawns down there. Those guys grunting and groaning down there, they're just the leftovers. But as you can see, or I should say, as I mentioned last time, with all the buttoning I did around here, that's going to isolate all the spawns basically that can happen in the Nether to be just in this area. So it is going to produce crazy amounts of mobs and items for us to get. And then we're actually going to kill them all manually down below. And if we use a looting sword, we're just going to get tons and tons and tons of items. And with this is going to be all the different mobs that spawn in another fortress. So we're going to get blaze, we're going to get wither skeletons, regular skeletons, the zombie pigmen, and all of their drops that come along with it. So it's going to be great. This is a design by Gnembon, and I think he said it produces something like 42,000 items per hour. Granted, that's back a couple updates ago when he originally designed it, but I don't think a whole lot has changed since then as far as spawns and drops and all that. So that's going to allow us to get as many wither skeleton skulls and blaze rods and all that stuff as we're ever gonna need. So I'm gonna start building this thing up. Like I said, it uses flying machines to just sweep the mobs into the middle, and then they're all gonna fall way down towards bottom where we're gonna kill them and collect the items. So I'm gonna build this up bit by bit, and I'm gonna show you guys really how it's working and what's supposed to happen here. So let me get cracking on, I'm gonna do up the flying machines on this layer, and then there'll be a third layer up there too, which is, you know, 3 layers is what can allow us to get so many spawns. So let me get building these up, and I will bring you guys back to show you a little bit more about how this works. Okay, here we are. I've got the second set of flying machines built up here. And I was just going to show you how they kind of work and what they're doing. So these leaves aren't going to stay here. I just put them up there. Shut up, stupid pigman. You guys are loud. I just put them up there so that... Come on, with the axe. So that didn't get any mob spawns, because, you know, with everything buttoned up, they're going to spawn like crazy. So I got to block everything that I can. And then let me take these leaves out right here. And I will show you how these things work. So what's going to happen is down below there's a lever to activate and turn on the farm, and up this little column right here is some redstone. And what that's going to do is push over the piston, and there's going to be set up like this on every floor. And this piston is going to push this observer over, can't talk right now, and activate this observer. And that is going to activate these flying machines, and they're all going to kind of work in unison on all the different levels. So let me show you real fast. Let's get a button. And we should just be able to put a button here, and then it will activate. And you'll watch these flying machines move. There we go. They're going to move over, and then there's these little stations on either side, which activate it and send it back. And when the farm is actually on, and that happens on both sides at the same time, and when the farm's actually on, this observer is going to be pushed over one block to right here, and that's the piston on the other side of the other flying machine. Break this out here, and you should be able to see it there. You see there's that piston. Run around, and that is actually going to line up with this observer every time it comes back to the station. Again, when it's on, right now it's basically off. And then every time it's going to activate that observer, which is going to activate some of this redstone. Kind of hard to see. Let me jump up here and show you a little bit better what's going on with this. And it'll activate this redstone, which pushes these this piston here, and then this piston here, and that's going to, oh yeah, I forgot the piston broke out the leaves. Whatever. And that piston here, and it's going to activate, get all that? It's going to activate the observers and then send the flying machines back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And they're going to sweep all the mobs into the center here, and this channel, we're gonna break. This is gonna be a straight shot all the way from top to bottom down to a catcher that's gonna push everything again to the middle and down toward the bottom. So that's the flying machines all set up for now, and then their return stations, and then all this is gonna get encased with leaves and glass and terracotta blocks, just kind of like what we see down here. And then the mobs can't escape when we're trying to sweep them up so that we can kill them. All right, let me build the rest of it up, and I'll bring you guys back here in a few. Alrighty, so I got the walls and leaves all built up here, so that this second floor here is all contained. And then I started a little bit on the third layer. I built the sweeping machines and put up the leaves. That just sort of block spawns and sort of contain the flying machines when they're over on this side. And I left this open so that we can kind of see what's going on. But down there you can see that it's enclosed. And these blocks, by the way, there's not a whole lot of this. It's really specific. I'm just putting random blocks up. You know, I'm like scrolling through. I'm putting them on the hotbar and scrolling through my mouse wheel and just put blocks up. The only thing is that this row right here has to be terracotta. Otherwise, it's going to stick to the slime. And, well, then the flying machines wouldn't move. And you could potentially, like, break this out right here and put a piece of glass and then use whatever kind of material you wanted to put here. But that reduces the effectiveness of the farm a little bit, because part of this design relies on these slime blocks launching the entities over. That's why we're actually using, what do you call that stuff? Ice? Down there. That's why we're using ice for the platforms, because when the slime blocks hit the mobs, they could start like right here and then get pushed all the way over and then fall down into the, well, I mean, it's not really the killing chamber, but it's into an area that moves them over into the killing chamber. So I'm gonna go down here real quick. I'll show you a little bit to do this other sweeping machine right here. So there's two channels that all the mobs are gonna fall into. Then of course we want to sweep them all into a common area. So right here and right here are a couple other flying machines. Let me see if I can get over here for a better view. And so what they do is they sweep back and forth, and the mobs drop down into, let me break this up. I think I can do that. Sweeps them up. So the mobs fall down into this row, and then there's another one on the other side there. And they land on these beds, which you gotta be careful when you're placing these, because you don't want to blow yourself up. Pretty easy to do. But they land on these beds, which stops them from hurting themselves from falling, you know, the ones from all the way up there. And then the sweeping machines sweep them, I'm gonna have to get that. Sweep them back and forth across. You know, sometimes they sweep over here and get them mashed into there, but then eventually they sweep them over here, and then there's a central sort of channel that they're all gonna fall down right there. And if we go down here real quick, and just to show you, this is like the central channel that they're gonna fall down, just one block wide, so that it's a lot easier to kill them. And then they all are gonna end up right here. And we're gonna build some, you know, item collection stuff up right here. But they're gonna land here, and this is where we're gonna sit here and bam, 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 kill all the mobs. This is the activation switch. This leads up to the very top with this redstone here. And I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna turn this on and show you really how those sweeping flying machines are working and what they're doing. So let's get back up here. And it's sweeping these zombie pigments. And you can see them get swept in here, and then they get launched over there. These flying machines, you can see, whoa, hello. These flying machines are going back and forth, just back and forth as the machine is turned on. And if we go over here, we can go up to the top, and I can show you. So, oh. That's not ideal. Those ones aren't moving. I don't know why. I'm gonna have to go figure out. But, so you can see here, that they just move, when the farm is on, they just move back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on their own. No activation or any other work required. They're just going to go back and forth. And then when we turn off the farm, they'll all just park themselves right here in the middle, basically. Let's go down here and figure out what's going on with these ones. Yeah, that's what I did. So I sort of deactivated them so I wouldn't accidentally activate the flying machine. So these need to be these powered rails right here. So that gets that moving. We'll do this one here. It's that moving. Now we'll go back up to the top and I'll show you what's going on. Now these are a little bit out of sync right now because the way I had to activate them, when it's running normally, they'll be pretty much synced up. But you can see they're just moving back and forth, and then this channel, like I said, is just going to be a hole all the way down to the collection chamber. And yeah, they're just going to sweep back and forth, pushing the mobs back and forth, and we put the ice down so that they slide over extra fast, and that just sort of increases the rates of the farm. And that's, you know, pretty much the basics of it. There's not a whole lot more to it. I just got to build up the rest of the walls and enclosures here, and then I'm gonna replace the floors, of course, with the blue with the blue ice, and then we're gonna be ready to build the collection system. And once that's done, this whole thing's ready to go. It's not too difficult. Like I mentioned before, it's designed by Gnembon. I will put a link below to his video. It's not really a tutorial how to build the video, but it's got a world download, and he shows you know, explains in detail what's going on and everything with this. So let me get the rest of this built up, and the walls and everything enclosed. We'll put the blue ice down for the floors, and I think this thing will be pretty much ready to go once we, uh-oh. Those ones broke. These flying machines broke. Not sure why, but there is a timing issue. Sometimes if you turn off the farm at just the exact correct point, it will break these flying machines. Which is also something to mention, that if you build this thing, you're going to want to make sure that you cannot leave it running when you walk away from it. You want to turn it off all the time before you leave the area. Otherwise, these flying machines will break, and then you're going to have to get into this farm when it's full of mobs trying to fix it, and that is not going to be any fun. Why is there a button right there? There shouldn't be a button sitting there. That's kind of worrying me. Iterate. Oh. Excuse you. Iterate. Let me get the rest of this. Well, I gotta fix these flying machines now. I'll get the rest of it built up, and I will bring you back when I am done with that. Alrighty, we are back, and you can see I have got the floors put in and all the buttons removed from all the different layers. And we've already got tons of mobs spawning up in here. So this is the top layer. You can see a whole bunch of blaze and a few wither skeletons. Then we go down one more layer, and you can see a bunch of blaze and wither skeletons, and more over here. And then we go over here, and we go down one more level, and we see a whole bunch of blaze and wither skeletons. And this is just from, like, I went down to the collection point and waited 30 seconds and came back up here once I put in all the floors, and this is what we've got. So this thing should be ready to go. I already built up the collection system downstairs. I'll show you here. Right here is, this is the same spot that I showed you before when they're gonna fall. It's just built up into a pretty pretty elaborate. Well, I don't know. It's not that elaborate, but it's a bit of a collection system. It's more than just a few hoppers. So they come down here, they land on this hay bale so they don't take too much damage. As part of the point of this farm is you can also get a whole bunch of XP from it because you sit here and you just kill these guys sitting in this one block right here. And so there's a minecart sitting inside of that hay bale right there with a couple other hoppers just to catch all the junk that sort of flies out to the side. And if we go down here, you see a whole mess of redstone because we've got more hoppers, minecart hoppers inside of these concrete blocks, which distribute all the items from that one relatively evenly into these 4 dispensers here. And from here on out, I think it works pretty much the same as the way we built up the collection system for our zombie pigman farm up there. Or zombified piglin, I guess they're called now. So at any rate, there's just 4 droppers, you know, one sort of on each side, and they all lead into one central block, and you can kind of see right there's a cobweb, which just helps keeps the items from sort of spewing out in all different directions. And then we've got a redstone line that leads from the switch up there that actually turns on the farm, and that comes down here to activate this ice rail path thing that we have. So that redstone just turns on this clock so that this is, you know, every few seconds it starts to shoot the items over. And then they make their way around through the sorting system there. And then anything extra, say there's like a whole bunch, because this can produce more items sometimes than what the hoppers can collect in one go of the items shooting across. So then they'll shoot it back around and again, and then any items we don't want will just sort of loop around and despawn eventually. And it's kind of fun, like oh yeah, I put these blocks up here so you can't do it, but the items literally just go across. Here, I can kind of show you real quick. Let's do this carpet. Throw this carpet out, gets hit, shoots over, then it'll shoot back over this way, gets hit because it's not getting sorted. And it's just going to loop around and around and around until it despawns or we catch it here. And then this is just your normal like impulse item sorter system where we are going to collect all the different items. I've already put some of the things, like this is just stuff we collected from, you know, like while building the farm. And so now we can actually turn this thing on and give this its first real test. So let's see how this works here. We'll flip it on, and we're going to have to wait a few seconds for our first batch to come down. But then after that, it should be just like raining mobs all the time. And we can kill these guys and get all their drops. And you know what? It's going to get a little bit loud, so let's turn down the volume a bit. Oop, I don't know about that. Then we can just sit here and kill these guys. Look, we already got a ton of wither skeletons right there. And we're getting a bunch of XP. And then the way we've got the slabs and everything set up, the blaze can't see us, so they can't aggro. That's sort of an issue with some of these farms. Good lord, they're still too loud. I feel like I'm yelling here. Kind of like the Enderman farm where it's just super loud all the time. But yeah, at any rate, sometimes like in certain farms kind of like this, if you aggro the blaze, they fly up. And it takes them forever to come back down. It really reduces the efficiency rates of your farm. So that's just pretty much it. You sit here and you kill, and you can see it's almost an endless stream of mobs coming down. There's little breaks every once in a while because those flying machines, you know, they're obviously not constantly going to be dropping mobs because they're moving back and forth. But look at this, like just a whole ton of wither skeletons in one shot, and yeah, it's crazy. So let's turn this off, kill the last of them here, and there may be another batch coming through because those machines sometimes take a minute before they're parked in their final positions. Guys up there, come on. These blazes always take the longest to clear out because they take forever to float down. I think that's pretty much it. Well, in any rate, we're just going to go down here. And then you can see you got all these items dropping and shooting across and across the way. And it looks like I forgot to sort some of the gold items. So I purposely left a spot open here so that I can add anything else in that I need to. Throw that in. And we'll see, just in that couple minutes, most of these chests were empty of pretty much everything. Let's see. I already got I think I only had one in there, so we already got 3 skulls. We got like 3 stacks of bones. We got like a stack of those already just in that couple minutes of messing around there. Some coal. Ooh boy, rotten flesh, that's my favorite. And like I said, that stuff's just gonna sit here, circle around, and despawn until it's despawned. I mean, yeah. And if you want, you can always catch, you know, and sort any of this other stuff that comes through, but, you know, it's mostly swords and junk that nobody really wants. And some of this gold stuff, if you really wanted, you could save it and smelt it into ingots, or nuggets, or ingots, whatever the small one is. But, you know, all right, that's it. So yeah, all that was like swords and armor. But since we got like the gold farm up there, we don't need to worry about that. So yeah, that's pretty much the farm. It looks like it's working good. We can go back up top and make sure nothing broke or anything. Make sure none of these guys got out of the cages. And you can see we're back up here, and then there's just tons of mobs already spawned, ready to go and be swept across into the killing chamber. Looking good, looking good. The flying machines are right where they're supposed to. It's like that guy's looking at us. Did he know we were here? No, just kidding. I saw a couple of them do that. They tend to like walk over these edges and just stare out the window. It's also worth mentioning too, if you really wanted, you could put, I think it's 2 or 3 more layers on top of this, but they have to be made out of the nether brick. They can't be blue ice, because the way the bounding boxes and stuff of all this work, you can still get the nether mob spawn on top of nether brick, but not any other block. But that's really overkill, and there's some testing shows that maybe that actually reduces the rates. So we're just gonna leave it at this 3 layers. So I think that's pretty much gonna do it for this thing. I got a little bit of cleaning up to do. Got to clean up a bit around up top, down here in the storage, whatever system you want to call it. Because yeah, I mean, I had to look at all this junk that I had to put down. It's crazy, this big mess of stuff that I had to do. And I don't know how I'm gonna like decorate, and like obviously this isn't getting decorated right here, but you know, from down below it might be nice if we did some decoration so we could see it properly, like see it cleanly, you know, and like, because down here you're just looking up at a mess of like holes and redstone and stuff, and it's kind of ugly. But we're probably gonna do you know, standard fashion, leave it like this for quite some time until I get bored and decide to clean it up a bit. But that's pretty much it on this farm, and I think that's gonna be pretty much it for the episode today. I want to thank you guys for watching, really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed what you saw. I enjoyed making it. It was pretty fun. I mean, it took me, I guess if you counted all the buttoning, it took me, I don't know, a month to build this thing. But you know, realistically, like the actual farm, and if I could do it, you know, when I was doing the buttoning, I was just kind of goofing around and stuff. I wasn't like really working hard at it. But you know, it takes a little while to build this up, so appreciate the like, share, tell your friends, all that good stuff. And I guess we will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.